Hello, welcome to my photo studio and to ProPhotoLife.com. There are many different ways a photographer can deal with and approach a challenge. Today I was looking for inspiration and I found it right here on my wristwatch. Now, photographing this wristwatch is going to present a certain problem that we're going to magnify a bit for the sake of the video. But it's also going to show us that there are different paths that can be taken to solve any particular problem in photography, and that's really what photography is. It's problem solving. The more knowledge you have about different methodologies of photography, the better and easier you're going to be able to solve those problems when they occur. Now, we're going to photograph this watch today in a way that exaggerates the glare on the face of it just a bit so we can look at the different problem-solving methods. We have our softbox set up here with our Calumet strobe inside that we've used in previous videos. Then we have our camera set up right here. It has a 100mm macro lens that's great for this type of photography. And the light is going to bounce from the strobe onto the watch into the lens, and it's going to create quite a bit of glare on the crystal face. So why would I set it up this way? Well, I like what it's going to do to the metal around the outside of the watch. So let's just take a look at what we get with this setup. Well, this is the very first test. What do we like and not like? Well, I'm not going to concern myself too much with the band today. That gets into different issues. What we're going to be looking at is the metal, which it looks okay, but it could use just a little bit of help. And then the crystal is obviously blown out. So how do we solve these challenges? Well, with the metal, I have just a piece of foam core, or you can use any white board that I've fashioned into just this folding 3-part reflector, and I'm going to put it around the outside of the watch, and I'll get behind the camera, and I'll just move it until I like the particular highlights that I'm getting on the metal. Let's take a look. Okay, I do like what that's doing to the metal, so we're pretty good there, but we do have that massive glare on the watch face. Now, I had mentioned there are different ways to solve this situation. The very first one deals with pre-production, and in pre-production, a lot of times when photographing watches, the crystal will be completely moved from the watch. That would eliminate the situation that we're having with that, and it would easily solve it. So when you're approaching a photographic situation, think about what you can do beforehand to prepare for it. Unfortunately, we don't have that opportunity here, so we have to go to one of our other two plans. The second plan would be, what can we do in Photoshop to fix this? Now, there's an awful lot of glare on that face, so it's going to take a tremendous degree of changing around in Photoshop to fix that. One of the things that we often do at the studio in this type of situation is we take that original photograph, we keep that, then we light the product in perfect registration without moving the product or the camera. We light it once again just for the face of the watch. I'm going to move this light around to the side, and we'll photograph it one more time and see what we get there. Okay, well, the metal does look absolutely terrible, but we do have a good-looking face on the watch. That's something that can be plucked out in Photoshop like this. We just outline it, remove that face, then it can be dropped into the other photograph and combined, and we have a good-looking final image. So those are two ways to tackle this particular challenge. One is done through pre-production, thinking ahead, pulling the crystal out of that watch before photography even begins. The second way was through Photoshop post-production. Two photographs were taken and merged together, and the situation was rectified after the photographs had been taken. It was done in post-production. Now, what can we do during the actual exposure to try and get a better result? Well, the little thing that's come to my aid so many times in this situation is the polarizing filter. Now, the polarizing filter is something people often just think of for making skies bluer, but it richens color in things, it cuts glare off of things, cuts glare from water, it will make the paint job on an automobile or a motorcycle look deeper and richer. It's a great accessory to have, and I think it's going to help us out here. So let's go ahead and screw the polarizer onto the front of the lens. Now, with the polarizer on there, I'll rotate until the glare is eliminated as much as I can possibly get it, and we'll take a shot. And there we go. With the polarizer lens attached, we have a much nicer looking photograph than we did without the polarizer on it. It's definitely brought back some detail in the watch face. Let's go through the progression as we always do. Let's take a look. Here's our very first photograph. We have the blown out crystal, but the metal's starting to take shape. We did add a white reflector to bring that metal to life just a little bit better. Then we took an extra photograph to merge in Photoshop, just exposing for the face of the watch. And here's that result with those merged together. Then, with the polarizer lens, let's take a look once again at where we started before the polarizer. Here we are with all the glare. Then, with the polarizer attached, we eliminated quite a bit of that glare. So, as you can see, there are different ways to approach a project like this, either in pre-planning, through removing the crystal, in post-production, doing the Photoshop fix, which many people do these days, or during the actual photography. There are always methods and things we can learn to make the result look better just coming straight out of the camera. So there you have it. One situation, three possible solutions, or a combination of any of those methods could be worked together to get the final result that you want. And I just happened to notice that I'm wearing a black shirt today, and I thought I'd mention that clients are always asking, why do you photographers wear black? Is it because you're artists? Well, no, it's because as a commercial photographer, we just don't want to reflect into the objects we're photographing. We also carry around black cloths to hide tripod legs and things like that so that they don't reflect in the objects that we photograph. So that's it for this video. If you'd like to see the still photographs from the video, please come to ProPhotoLife.com. Look up video episode 21 and you'll find a link to the gallery there. Thanks always for watching, and I hope to see you at the website soon.